Yo, what is going on, guys? Jared here. And last night I was up super late trying to look up cards that could possibly combo with a card called Formud Skipper. Now, for those of you who don't know what this card is, where it came out from, when you bought your three Salamangreat structure decks like a year or two ago to play Salamangreat, this was one of the random commons in there that was only in that structure deck. And a lot of people just blew over it because they didn't care. It didn't have Salamangreat in the name. But when you actually read it, it has a very, very interesting effect. And for back then, when links were still more newer, this card was way less exciting. And I think now this card definitely could have a place in multiple parts of the meta. It's so diverse, it can do so many things. And it's one of the reasons why I have all of these cards pulled up. This is just every card that you could possibly use this card with. And I think it's ridiculous of how versatile this card can be in such a variety of decks and strategies. So yeah, we're going to go over what the card does, and then we are going to talk about the decks that it could be used in and incorporated in. Some of them being way more realistic than others, but the point is that there's a possibility that it can be used in with any of these cards. So Formid Skipper, if I can get my mouse over here, there we go. Alright, so this card reads, during your main phase, you can reveal one Link monster in your extra deck. If you do, when you Link summon this turn, you can treat this card as Link material with the same name, type, and attribute as the reveal monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Link material, you can add one level 5 or higher Cybers monster from your deck to your hand. Now, I don't know, I've been playing this game since I can remember pretty much. And there is not a lot of cards that can freely change its name like that throughout the entire game. And when there was always some weird ruling interaction with certain things. I know there was like an infinite burn one that had to get like not even errata, it just got pretty much got patched out saying you can't do that. I think it was with like hero tags or something, I forget. But that's not the point. The point being, this is one of the few cards in the game that has a effect that can switch its name. And not just name, type an attribute along with it. So that is very relevant. So this card can go into so many different Link monsters or even Extreme monsters and set things up. And you'll see what I mean when I say it sets things up very nicely. So I guess we'll start this way and make our way over. So like you wouldn't think it'd be that many cards when you first think about it, but in reality, it like when you actually go through them all, there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can reveal either you can reveal Unchained Soul Rage and then link into Unchained Soul Rage for a link too. So or either Rage or Ambush. Man, I'm sorry, I just woke up. I'm so tired. So you can go into either of these and use this one as an interruption for your opponent's turn to go into something like Nightmare Unicorn on your opponent's turn, or you can go into this one and link up into, I don't know, whether it be Access Code Talker, so you can go into him off this, which is kind of cool, and try to make a big push. You can go into something like Test Panther, so you can include this into a Gladiator Beast deck. Like I said, these require extra monsters. There is Link 1s in here for more one-card combos, and I'm going to go through them. But yeah, there is like Link 2s, Link 3s, because I went through all of them to make sure. I want to make sure I got every single card that always says including a certain type of monster. So we can go into Test Panther. Actually, I don't know why I put this one in here. You actually can't go into Test Panther. There's no Gladiator Beast links. Let me take this out. That's the only one I couldn't go into. But yeah, we can go into Samorg if you remember, because Samorg is still a broken card in my opinion. This card's crazy. Yeah, but if you have a Link 2 on the field and you use it, you can reveal Samorg with its effect, and then you can go into Samorg because it changes its type too. We can go into Selene because that card's broken. We can go into Scrap Wyvern. Now, granted, for Scrap Wyvern, you have to have a Scrap in the graveyard for it to be pretty good. But still, though, I think if you have the option, like, it's still there. We can go in the Reptilian Link. I'm not going to say she's the best, but the option's there. You can go in the Morningstar by revealing Morningstar itself. I like those types of cards that you can reveal something itself and then summon it, because it says including just a Mech Knight, because you don't expect to be using pretty much a monster with the same name, but you can. So this is cool. So this is a very real one because you can trigger it off. So there is a deck I would use this in, and I'm going to go through I would say to the 2, maybe 3 viable decks that go with this card with Formid Skipper. The Link Cross is in here because it sets up the level 7 or higher Cybers monster that you add, which is going to be Parallel Exceed every time. I went through the other level 7 or higher Cybers monsters. None of them are that thrilling, or 5 or higher, whatever it is. Um, yeah, 5 or higher. But none of them are that thrilling. Like, there's like the Spell and Trap Destruction one, and like that's really like the best ones I could find. But for like combo potential and things to go into, Parallel Exceed is definitely the go-to. Um, and then we can go into any of the Charmers. I just put Hita here because I feel like it's the most known one, but we can go into any of the Charmers. So that's very versatile in my opinion. I have these code talkers here because I have some cyber synergy up here with micro code talker, and that makes you can get silent mining, and silent mining can get skipper. So if there's like different ways you can try to combo into getting skipper from your deck to your hand and summoning it, and then doing in the some specific play you can. And then code talker can summon it from this code talker can summon it from the hand. So it's just ways to, if you need to like force it out, you can pretty much. But that's for a more cyberspace strategy. I don't know if I would go that route. I probably wouldn't, but I figured I would include it rather than not include it for you guys. Rafflesia's here because you can go into use Parallel Exceed for some of these combos and go on Gravediggers. And then if your deck is a combo deck, you can do like a kind of combo after. I also have the Six Sam because you can reveal the Six Samurai and be able to make this still if you have another warrior. So that's kind of cool. The Plunder, you can reveal the Blackbeard in your extra deck and then make Blackbeard if you have another monster, like I said. And then even its effects live if you your opponent plays what's it called the attribute that required for certain Plunder Patrol extra deck cards. You can make this live to get a draw out of it and summon a monster. So I thought that was kind of interesting. We also have the Crusadia package. I think this is one of the best ones because of how Crusadia works as a deck. It climbs up in links and they always have an arrow pointing down. So like Formud Skipper can go in the Magius, or Formud Skipper can add Parallel Exceed. Then let's say you have any Crusadia monster or any extender, you can summon it, search again, link into say Regulex, and then you can activate the Parallel Exceed, and then just keep comboing from there. I think you can do a lot, or you can go into Spatha and then try to go for a more Guard Dragon oriented combo. That's why I have these over here. But also with the Guard Dragons is that Skipper also can turn into a Dragon type to then be used for a Guard Dragon combo. I thought that was super, super cool. That's why I have these out here. Yeah, so I think this is pretty one of the better ones. We also have Galatea. You can reveal Galatea herself, and then you can link into her, and then you can put a ding on top of her. You don't even have to use the effect. You can just summon Galatea to put ding on top of it. I thought that was pretty cool. Or you can put it in the more an actual Orca strategy. That's up to you. But I liked it more for just being able to summon ding on top of Galatea because it doesn't lock you into the only summoning darks for the rest of the turn. So I thought that was kind of neat. I also have a little meme one here with the Nordic because you literally can reveal the Nordic and it keeps its level. It's very relevant because so it says 1 level 5 or lower Nordic. It will still be level 1 and it will be called a Nordic. So you can go into this and you can actually chain block this because I know this is a very risky card to play. I actually read the effect, and you can make the Formid Skipper chain link 2 and this chain link 1 when it's a link summon, so that it doesn't get what's called Ash Blossomed. So I thought that was kind of cool. We also have the Musket link. You can reveal the itself. You can reveal Max to summon Max with Formid Skipper by itself, and then you can chain block the Max 2 to either summon more muskets from your deck or add spell and traps to your deck to your hand, along with the Parallel Exceed. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then we also have the Marine Cesses. I took the other one out, but yeah, there is another Marine Cess that's a link one, but this one was the more relevant one. So this one adds a spell trap for your deck to your hand. I believe the other one adds a Marine Cess monster from your graveyard to your hand. But yeah, you can go into these two. They both require level 4 lower Marine Cesses or 1 Marine Cess monster. So it's the same concept. So I think that would work kind of cool. And they're all cybers too, so you have some cyber synergy there. I thought that was neat. Obviously, Balinx. Balinx is cool because it makes the Parallel Exceed live by itself. You can go summon Formid Skipper. You don't even have to actually, use the effect if you don't want to because it's already level 4 lower Cybers, but you can link it off in the Balinx. Skipper will add Parallel Exceed. Balinx will add, Sound Great Sanctuary. That's why I have this here. Activate the Sanctuary, use it to summon the, the other Balinx, and then activate Parallel Exceed in hand, and it kind of forces it through. And if I remember correctly, it is a really good way to set up the Rafflesia with just one card. Like you're not really like dedicating too much; you're just playing one card. And then I also have the Sky Strikers. I chose these two to show because they both point downward and they're link ones. So you can go like reveal Kagari, make Kaina, add Parallel Exceed, then make Hayate. use Parallel Exceed in hand that you added, because High Altai also points down. And then you can make something like Rafflesia, or you can make something that will leave the field, like Time Thief Redoer. That one I'm a big fan of. I'm actually going to probably mess with that. Um, and then it sets you up with more interruptions, and it also technically adds more Sky Striker monsters, so you can get your engine going faster. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then lastly, we also have Traptrix Sarah. Like I said, it's one non-link Traptrix monster. The Formud Skipper does not become a link, so you can use it to summon Sarah. And then I have something here like the Shade Brigandine, where you can go Skipper, summon Sarah, add Exceed, Brigandine, use Sarah, summon a guy, and then just doing a full combo off there. So it's kind of like the Myrmilio Brigandine combo just actually gets better with the if you do it with Skipper instead. It gets stronger because you get another free like Link or rank 4. There's definitely more things you can do. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, so I have cards here that I thought would stand out more with a deck that was more. I don't want to say like based on Skipper, but I feel like this card can increase the power of a lot of decks because of Parallel Exceed, and even add some kind of like versatility. So like when I say versatility, I mean like little packages. So you can add like I said, the Galatea, you can add just Galatea and Ding, and then that's a little package in itself. So Skipper can now link into Galatea and the Ding, and then do a non-targeting send away from any point in the game. So I thought that was kind of cool, and stuff like that. I thought that was neat. And like I said, all the Charmers, that's a good little package. This one's like kind of cool because it kind of adds like a little draw engine if things go right. But I don't know if I would go with this one, me personally. The striker package is kind of cool. You can play one of each one, and you can go through like a little striker ring. That was kind of a cool one, or the Traptrix one. That was also kind of cool. So yeah, they're like little engines that you can throw in, or the Unchained for an interruption with Skipper. So yeah, there's just many ways you can do things with it, and I thought it was definitely worth mentioning, to say the least. So yeah, so we have the Cyrus package. Some of these like force it out of the hand. Some of these can try to search it. So like Debug can search Skipper. Microcoder can search Mining, which can search Skipper. These two, this summons itself from the hand, and this will give you an extra normal summon for a Cybers into your addition to your normal summoner set. So I thought that was kind of cool. And this we all know Sea Archiver is playing solid. You can summon it to something it points to. And then we have the Crusaders. This one I like the most, to be honest. It's this one and Sky Striker I like the most, because you can use it to get Parallel Exceed, and then obviously the Crusaders themselves, they are all extenders. So once you resolve it, it's fine. But what's another cool thing is that even if this gets negated with something like say they get a Vect Veilard or Infinite Permanence, it's actually fine because you can link into something like Link Kariba or Almarush. Still trigger the Formula Skipper in Graveyard because it doesn't negate the Graveyard effect. Still add Parallel Exceed, and then you can still link into Summon a Crusadia because again you have the arrow pointing down now, and then you can summon it, link into whatever you want, especially if it's like something like Arborea. Man, can't say these names. And then you can do like a full combo from there because Arborea is a tuner. You can go into Needle Fiber and then chain block it with the Parallel Exceed that you added. So I think there's definitely add potential there. That is definitely one of the decks that I would say this card belongs in because I think it works so good how it works. So yeah, I would also probably in that same deck, I would probably also include a Mech Knight package with the World Legacy package. That's why I have all these out here. Just because this doesn't always need to be Crusadia Magius. This can also turn into a Morningstar, and the Morningstar is able to add the Mech Knights or the World Legacy cards. I think that's very relevant. Like you want this card to be as how can I word it, versatile as possible. You want this one card to do multiple things, and fit many different situations. So I think that's why I want this card to be that in a deck like this, because it can do a lot. It can be Morningstar, it could be Magius. You can make it like into anything, and even if you have like a combo already going and you draw it later and you already have a board, like it can just still make different things and continue in so many different plays. I'm a big fan of that, so I like that it can do that. And then I have the other competitive one that I would say would be the Strikers. I think that let me pull up the I think Redoer is definitely has a place, because you can go Skipper reveal. Like I said, you can go Skipper Kaina or Skipper Kagari Kaina, Hayate, Skipper, summon Time Thief with the Parallel Exceeds, and then it frees up your extra monster zones, so it can form as another turn interaction, like another form of interruption. But I think another good reason why I like this engine in Striker, and I'm probably going to make a deck with it, and I'm going to show it, and I hope you guys would like to see that, because it makes something in the deck that I took out before. It makes me want to put it back in, and that's Pot of Avarice. I wanted to play through Pot of Avarice again. So if you go Skipper, Reveal, Kagari, Wink in the Kaina, Wink in the Hayate, summon Parallel Exceed, summon D2, summon both, make Redoer, hit, and then go into Kagari, go into Shizuku. You can Redoer on your own turn, and then that forces the Pot of Avarice to be alive, and then it'll still come back during the end phase, and then it will still attach during their turn, and 9 times out of 10 you hit a monster. Or if you don't have Pot of Avarice, you just let it sit there for their turn, obviously. But if you want to force the Pot of Avarice, you can. Like, having the option there is relevant, and I think that really makes this one more better than like, I like being able to make Pot of Avarice live and playing 3 of it, and I think that's why I want to play it. And the fact that you get to play things like Pot of Avarice to add spells in your graveyard, you get to play Sign It Mine and add spells in your graveyard. You also get to play 1-for-1 to add a spell in your graveyard and be an extender, because Formud Skipper is level 1, and it doesn't say when off normal summon, it's just during your main phase. So I think a Striker build with this card could definitely be something interesting and worth looking at. I don't know if Time Thief Redoer would be the only card I would put in it. Maybe I would put in the Double or Nothing package. Maybe I would put in Dweller. Maybe I'll put in Rafflesia with some traps. But as opposed to all the going second Sky Striker decks that are out right now that everybody is playing and seems to be the best, this could definitely be a path going towards a going first Sky Striker deck, maybe playing some trap cards, or playing something very different. And that's what I want. I wanted to try to make a going first Sky Striker deck that works, that is not playing just a bunch of floodgates, because that's just not fun to watch realistically, and I don't enjoy playing that deck. I like being able to outmaneuver, out-resource, and being able to play around my opponent. I don't want to just flip up a floodgate and then just laugh at them, pretty much. Because this is all for something that's for fun, and if it works out better than I expected, then we'll move forward into maybe making it more competitive, and maybe I'll play it at a tournament in real life, because I own all these. I can make this in real life if it works out very well. But yeah, so I think that this card has multiple points going for it, and that you can fit a lot of things into extra decks to make it worth going into. So yeah, either way, I do hope that you guys have at least considered Formud Skipper as a card and keeping it in the back of your mind, and maybe try to build some other deck ideas that you out of all these cards that you see, that you can use. Like, I did this just by literally going to monsters, links, and then I started with link 1s, and then I just looked through every single one of them. And then, like, you can make this thing too, Infinite Track. I didn't put this in here because it's so bad. It doesn't actually do anything. So I didn't put it in here. But like I said, there is other cards that you can use. I didn't look at the OCG cards. These things do work. I don't even know what they are, but like I said, it's worth mentioning. So yeah. So either way, I hope you guys have at least considered. And then then I worked my way up to 2, and then 3, and then 4, and I looked up every single link monster that could possibly be used with this. So yeah. So finally, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I am sorry, I am tired. It has been a long week of just working, but I've been always thinking about making a video on this card. I feel like it definitely is warranted because of how versatile it is and how competitive I think it really can be with the release of Parallel Exceed, and I just don't think it's being talked about enough of how good this card can be. But yeah, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy videos like this, and hit the like button or comment below if you want to see that Sky Striker deck with Formud Skipper, because I really want to try it out. So yeah, so either way, we will see you guys in the next video, hopefully with the deck profile of that Sky Striker deck, and yeah, we'll see you then. Later, guys.